Hey guys, good morning. It's another hot day here in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. So guys, I'm moving. I've been here for less than 3 months and I've decided to move. My landlord is crazy, man. Let me tell you guys something, right? If you guys are gonna travel, say to Africa, Tanzania, make sure your landlord is okay. You know, here in Tanzania, most of the time you have to pay 6 months rent in advance or like 1 year in advance. But the thing is, if you get stuck with a bad landlord, you're screwed. But so now that I'm here and I'm learning, I'm being told that you could negotiate before you get yourself stuck into a 6 months contract. Negotiate for like 3 months and try, and like test your landlord and see how they are. Because sometimes you get stuck with some bad. This guy who owned this house here, this guy's crazy. And everyone here is like telling me that I'm stupid because I'm paying too much money. Listen to this, right? So when I first came here, there were some issues, that like with the house. Number one, water. There was no fresh water. There is a well outside, but the water that comes from the well is salty. So I complained to the landlord. Yeah, I didn't want to get it connected to the main line because if I did, I would have to pay 15,000 Tanzanian shilling every month. And I wasn't sure how long it would take me to have a tenant. But at the end of the month, I would still have to pay the 15,000. But I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. Guys, I've been asking this man, right, for 2 months, not nagging at him, not calling him up and saying, yo, where's my water, whatever, right? In the meantime, I have like buckets in my kitchen. I would take to the neighbors and fill those buckets with water so that I can bathe, I can cook, and I can do laundry, right? People are saying, are you stupid? Because you're paying, the first thing that they said to me, you are paying way too much for this house. This house has been on the market for 6 months. People were coming, they were looking at it, but they were not taking the house because the house is too expensive. I'm paying 550,000 Tanzanian shillings every month. And they said to me, this house is worth about 350 to 400,000 Tanzanian shilling. You are paying way too much money for this house. And then, because this is a kind of rural area, right? Semi-rural area. And they're saying that there's no houses in this area that can rent for this money. No Tanzanian would pay this rent. But because you didn't know, you come and you took this house, and yet still you still got to take buckets to carry water. There's a guy here, I was paying him 2,000 Tanzanian shillings every time he fetched like water for me. And the landlord will say, okay, I'm going to get it done. I'll come tomorrow. I'll send someone tomorrow. Sometimes 2 days pass. No one come. My neighbor next door, she told me about this guy who lives a few houses down, that he can connect me with the fresh water, right? So the guy came, he assessed everything. He told me what he needs, give him the money. He went, he bought the pipes, bought the hoses, bought everything, right? And he connect the fresh water outside. The landlord has a tank that feeds like water to the house, right? But I told him, don't connect it to the tank because when I'm leaving, I was taking my fittings with me. So the landlord came one day and he saw, I said, yeah, I paid for it. I'm not paying for this or whatever. I said, I didn't ask you to pay for it. I'm paying for it because I need fresh water. But when I'm leaving, I'm taking all of my fittings with me because I paid for it from my pocket. And I said, it is ridiculous that I'm paying you so much money and I have to, do all this stuff on my own. When I read the contract, so what I did, I went online and I started to read upon the Tanzanian law that governs, tenants and like a landlord. It was his responsibility. But I figure, you know what? I'm here to relax. I don't want any stress. I finally have like fresh water and whatever, right? So back up a bit. We're backing up now, January when I came, right? When I came here, a few days after, we got a call from him and he said to me, you would have to make a deposit of 1 month's rent, a security deposit. So when you're ready to leave, I would come and I would inspect and if there's any damage, I'll take it out from the deposit and whatever. So I was like, well, I don't have fresh water. So when you give me fresh water, then I would make the deposit, right? He was like, oh, it's like Tanzanian, whatever. So I said, okay. But now I'm reading up Tanzanian law. It's not in the law. But I did not give him that security deposit, right? Because I said, give me fresh water and I'll give you that deposit. And until I get water, you're not getting that security deposit. Guys, so I will tell you guys now, I paid for the connection. I brought the fresh water in. You know what he did one day? He came, he connected the fresh water that I paid for from outside. He connected it to the tank to feed water to the house, right? Fine. As soon as he was done doing that, he's asking me for security deposit. So I said, wait a minute. I said, I've been here for 2.5 months, asking you for fresh water. 2.5 months. I never bother you. You told me that you was going to get it done. You never got it. I didn't call you. I didn't harass you. I didn't get upset. I was so upset, right? Because I felt insulted. So I was so upset. As soon as he was done with my connection, he's asking me for security. I was upset, man. I said, who the hell are you? You understand? For 2.5 months, you didn't give it to me. I didn't bother you. I didn't harass you. I didn't call you. I didn't complain. You keep telling me someone's going to come. No one shows up, like sometime 3 days after. I'm out doing whatever. I'm getting phone call from you. Someone is outside. But you told me someone was going to come the next day. It's not like 3 days. So am I supposed to sit here and wait for you? This guy started to make noise. You have to leave my house. If you don't give me the deposit, you have to leave my house. And you breach the contract and whatever, because it's in the contract that you have to give me the deposit and whatever. But I said, you breached the contract first. Because one thing I did, guys, I told you, I read up on the Tanzanian law that governs us, right? And it says that it is the landlord responsibility to make sure that the house is in good, habitable. I don't know if like that a word for the tenant. I said, I didn't break any rules, right? The Landlord Tenant Act says you cannot just end a contract anyhow you want for any reason. They give specific reason in the act that how a landlord can break a lease. And yet still, if the landlord is going to break the lease, the landlord has to give the tenant 30 days. But I said, I didn't break any of those rules in the act. You did, right? You did. So no, you can't just come and tell me that I have to leave your house. And the guy came with a contract, with a thing to sign that this is the end of the lease. I said, no, I'm not signing anything, right? So I called my lawyer and he said, don't sign anything. And he told me, why don't you just leave his house? But he has to give you back the money. So that's the rule here. If you pay 6 months rent in advance, if you leave for 2 months and you decide to leave, they have to refund your money. This man has been harassing me all week to sign this document. So I said, bring me my money. And when you bring my money, I would sign. So guys, I went out, right? And I found a beautiful house. Now that I'm here, I'm on the ground here, I'm seeing how I've been taken advantage of. Because I'm seeing, I got a house, right? For 400,000 Tanzanian shilling that I negotiate down to 350,000, right? 200,000 Tanzanian shilling less than what I'm paying here in a better neighborhood, right? Guys, there's an air conditioning in every room. Oh my God. When you don't know, you don't know. It's good to be here on the ground and do your research on the ground and you'll know what's happening out there, right, guys? So I found my house already. I paid for my new house. I'm moving at the end of the month. He came here one night and he was, you have to sign this document. And I said, oh, did you have my money? I said, I will sign, but give me the money and I will sign. If you don't have my money, I'm not going to sign, right? Because right now, I don't trust you anymore. You have proven yourself to me to be untrustworthy. So give me the money. Let's count it out. When we finish counting it out, I sign this document that I'm leaving. You get your copy. I get my copy. The neighbors got so upset, right? They came and they started yelling and like screaming. And my neighbor next door, she called the chief. And the chief, they came right away because they know that in this neighborhood, guys, when I came, there was garbage outside, right? I went to the chief. And I said, this thing has to be cleaned up because it's not looking good in our neighborhood. And he said, yeah, he's been asking the neighbors to like put some money, but I said it's right outside and I don't like it, and I can't wait for anybody to think. So I said, how much would it cost? He called some people, get them over, they did the thing, and they gave me, so I paid them from my pocket and get it done. I got it done, right? It's not like I'm rich or whatever, but this is my neighborhood, and if I'm going to live here, I want to be able to go outside and enjoy being outside, and I wanted, so the chiefs came right away, and they told me that don't sign anything in his presence. They look at the contract, they look at everything. I told them what happened, and they told me don't. They said don't sign. They said, do you have his money? He'll bring the money on the 28th. So the chief said, well, okay, you bring the money on the 28th. He sign, you get your copy, you hand over his money, and that's it. You don't have money, you come in and yelling and harassing him to sign. He said, no, this is Dar es Salaam, and this is how things are done here. The chief told me, don't sign anything. Until you get your money, you sign. And if he don't give you, then like we are witnesses to what happened, you can take him to court. So I am moving. I found a beautiful house. And as a matter of fact, too, there's some issues with this house, right? I'll show you guys. There's some issues with the house. At the windows and everything, how the window is not properly sealed to the wall. So when the rain comes, the water comes in, right? Guys, it's like started to rain here now, like a rainy season. And water is coming in. I got up in the morning and my carpet is wet because water is like coming through the front door. It is not sealed properly, guys. So there are issues with the house. I don't want to complain too much, because I've been living here. I really like the house and I like the area, but the landlord had just turned me off from being here. That the fact of the matter is that I don't want to live here anymore. So I found a beautiful little house, guy. Nice neighborhood, and I'm looking forward to moving, and hopefully it's a better landlord. Yeah. So I'll keep you guys posted when I move into my new house. I will do I will give you guys a tour, but it's a beautiful house, nice neighborhood, guys. I like it. I like the environment. I like the feel. I'm liking it. So I'm going on 3 months here, guys. I'm figuring things out as I go. So these are things, sometimes, I was just talking to a friend of mine and he asked me, what do you like about Tanzania and what I don't like about Tanzania? And I said, there was not much I don't like about Tanzania. And like little things, I felt is not my business because I'm not a Tanzanian citizen. But now I can easily say that sometimes there are things that I don't like about Tanzania. Yeah. I can say that there are things I don't like. I can honestly say that. But we'll leave that for another time. Yeah. But I love Tanzania. I love the environment here. I like the people here. I love it. I love being here. Honestly. There are little challenges, but there are challenges everywhere. And look at the glow on my face, man. Look how beautiful I look. Oh, look at this, man. In Toronto, man. Shay, look at me. I'm sexy shit. Fact. It's a fact. Yeah, but there are things that I don't like about Tanzania, but I can live with them. If I want to be here and I want to live here, then I'll put up with it. Because I did in Toronto, we did. Everywhere we go, we put up with stuff. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm here to relax, guys. And there are things here, that I'm now seeing that I can do. Tanzania have so much fruits like crazy. And you go to the market and they're rotting because they're not being preserved properly. Just name the fruits, they have it here. You go out and you buy some fruits and you come home and you cut it open and it's rotten on the inside. And you go to the market and you see the fruits that just been wasted. Tanzania need a way to preserve the fruits. And, but hey, just a hint, business opportunity. But guys, yeah. So like I said, this is one of the issues here that I'm going to be moving out from this place. I hate moving. I hate moving. When I came here, I came in with my 2 suitcases, but now I have stuff to move. So right now I'm in the process of moving. The house that I'm moving to is a brand new house. So the landlord told me that there's some fitting that was not done. The pipe fitting, the kitchen in the house is, it's so much better than here, man. I'm telling you guys, right? I have room now. I can have like a cooker oven, and I'll get it done. My phone is ringing. So guys, until then, I'll talk to you later. Stay with me.